And we look into the success of the believer, it starts with his tawbah. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran, when He commanded us to make tawbah, وَتُوبُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا أَيُّهَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. And repent to Allah, all of you believers, perhaps you will obtain success. And when you look at the issue of repenting after sin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala broke it down for us in Surah Al Imran. And I want you to reflect on these verses, on this verse with me, because it shows us the practical steps of the muttaqi when he falls into sin. The pious ones, the muttaqeen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing them for us in the Quran and Surah Al Imran. And as He's describing the muttaqeen, Allah says, وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُم. Those who do fahisha, that which is immoral, or they oppress themselves with sins and shortcoming. And many people believe when they read this verse, we're talking about sinners. No, but if you go back to the verses before that, you realize from the context that Allah is speaking about the muttaqeen, about the pious ones. So even though they're pious, they're human beings. As the Prophet ﷺ said, كُلُّ بَنِي آدَمْ خَطَّاء وَخَيْرُ الْخَطَّائِينَ التَّوَّابُونَ. That all of the children of Adam, they are sinners. And the best of those who sin are the tawwabun. The tawwabun are the ones who are constantly repenting. And every time they fall into sin, they rush in order to repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah mentions, after this reality, that yes, they might fall into something immoral. They might oppress themselves with sinning and shortcoming. But what do they do once they fall into that? Allah then says, or tells us 3 steps. 3 steps and 3 things they do which make them different from the normal everyday Muslim. They're on a high status because they're muttaqeen. Yes, they fell. They fell into sin. But what they do when they fall into sin, that's what makes them different. That's what makes them unique. And so we have to pay attention to this verse. This is a very important principle when it comes to us falling into sin, into dhunub. Allah then said, the first thing they do, ذكر Allah, that they remember Allah. And once they remember Allah, what's the next step? فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Then they seek forgiveness for their sins, and who can forgive the sins other than Allah? And the third thing, وَلَمْ يُصِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا هُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. And they do not persist on doing that while they know. So the first thing is they remember the greatness of Allah, the one they're sinning against. Then they erase the tawbah after that. They repent to Allah, and then do not persist on committing that tawbah after they've sinned. But they fell into sin. And we have to realize the barakah and blessings of repenting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all of the doors that it opens upon us. A man came one time to the gathering of Al-Imam Al-Hasan Al-Basri rahimahullah ta'ala, and he complained about a drought that they were having. So he said to him, pray to Allah for forgiveness. And then he went on. Another time another man came and complained about him being in poverty. He was very poor. So Al-Imam Al-Hasan rahimahullah ta'ala, he said to him to pray to Allah to forgive you. Once again, to make tawbah, to repent, to make istighfar. A third man came another time, and he said, pray to Allah to bless me with a child. And Imam Al-Hasan Al-Basri said, pray to Allah for forgiveness, repent, make istighfar. And then another time a fourth person came and said, he complained about his garden and what's happening, the problem of it being dry. And he said to him, pray to Allah for, once again, for forgiveness. Seeking the forgiveness for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens up the doors for all of these things. It's interesting though, each one of them had a different complaint, but the answer obviously, as you can see, was all the same thing, to repent, to make istighfar. So some of his students said to him, Ya Imam, everyone who asked about you, you said the same thing to them. You gave them the same reply. So Imam Al-Hasan Al-Basri rahimahullah, he said, it's not my opinion, it's not what I'm saying. He said, it's what Allah is saying. And then he mentioned the verses from Surah Nuh, from verses 10 to 12, when Allah said, فَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَّارًا. These are very, very powerful verses if you reflect on their meanings, my dear brothers and sisters. First of all, it said, I said to them, and Nuh is saying to them, seek forgiveness, make istighfar for your Lord, seek forgiveness from your Lord. Verily He is Ghaffara, the oft forgiving. And when you know the meanings of the Arabic language, Ghaffar is mubalagha, and the extreme amount of forgiving that Allah gives. That's how much He forgives. He's a Ghaffar. Not just Al-Ghafur, but Al-Ghaffar, a higher level of forgiving. This is who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is when you repent to Him. And then in the next verse, He said, you'll see this. Now He's going to show the outcomes, and the barakas and the blessings of this istighfar, of this repentance. When He said, after that, يُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِدْرَارًا, and He sends the sky upon you continuing in showers. The barakah of the rain is coming down upon you. وَيُمْدِدَكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ جَنَّاتٍ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ أَنْهَارًا. And He will bless you, provide you with gardens. He will increase you in your wealth, in your children, and provide you with gardens, and provide you with rivers. And this is the blessings and the barakah that comes out of us repenting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you look at this story, there's two great benefits. Not just the benefit of the blessings and the barakah we gain from istighfar, also from the benefits of the salaf, of the early part of this ummah, how they were attached to the Quran. And this is how the believer needs to be. When something comes up, what is the answer to this situation from the Quran? So all of these four people came with different problems, but Imam al-Hasan al-Basri, rahimahullah ta'ala, he immediately connected them to the meaning taken directly from the Quran. Even if he didn't mention the ayat to them, that's where the meaning is taken from. And that's how we need to be, to turn to the Quran to find the answers and to find the solutions.